What's good, Joe?
What's cracking, G?
I can't call it. Lo- Yo, I like to welcome you to Real Cloud Television. Let them know who we got in the building.
Yeah, this is Jaguar, man.
How you doing this morning?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Just kind of tired, but hanging in there.
I got a little bit of questions for you, bro.
All right, for sure, G.
We'll get into the interview right now.
I
Look,
like the I like the Green Bay get up, G. You know I'm a Green
thank
Bay
you.
fan too.
Thank you.
You
I
know I'm a Green
appreciate
Bay
that.
fan too.
Thank you. I
Green Bay all the
appreciate
way.
that.
That's what's up.
Yeah. What's up? What's going on in the chat, too? It's my boy, Take Five. Yeah, so listen. Hey, what was it like the first time you hit the yard, though?
Oh man, the first time I hit the yard, man, that was in '95, and it was a trip, man, because you walk through a spline that's like a pathway where there's gates beside it or fences beside it, all the way to a gate. And as soon as they open that gate, they just say, "All right, get to your housing unit." You know what I mean? And you walk out onto the yard and you look back and forth like this. You're like, "Damn, this is crazy." You know what I mean? Everybody's on the yard working out, fucking getting high, doing whatever the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? Walking around, socializing and shit, playing baseball and whatever, And it was a trip, man. You can see who's who right away as soon as you hit the yard. You know what I mean? By how people are walking and who's following them around, or they got soldiers around them or whatever, But I remember I was nervous, G. I wasn't scared, but I was nervous. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? So I just went to my housing unit, and everybody was checking me out. I mean, the whole fucking yard was looking at me, G, because I was new on the yard. You know what I mean? And they had this term, "Oh, we got a fish. We got fish on." You know what I mean? We got fish on the yard. You know what I mean? And
Fresh fish.
yeah, and but my thing was like, ain't no fish here. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing time already, going in and out these counties and shit, hanging around with convicts and you know rubbing elbows with the best of them. So I knew what time it was already. But it was all right, man. I got settled in. Some people showed me some love. I seen some cats I knew from juvenile and shit. Yeah, it was cool, man. I mean, when I first went to prison was, I mean, it sucked. Nobody wants to go to prison. I'm not saying like glorifying it, but it was all right, man. It was cool, man. It was like being in a fucking camp or something for all boys and shit, and the big boys. You know what I'm saying? And
If you don't mind me asking, what did you get locked up for?
I went away for a car theft ring. Yeah, car theft ring. I was selling stolen cars and shit, stealing cars, selling them to the chop shop, taking them to Mexico and shit. I was doing all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Damn. You was getting it in. You was making some money. I know that.
yeah, I was, man. I used to make money doing that. Nowadays, there's no. I don't know. I'm sure they got the generation that knows how to steal cars today, but for old cats like me, we don't know how to steal no cars today. But I don't want to steal no cars today. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying
Yeah.
to steal shit. But yeah, back to the prison thing. It was all right, man. I mean, you know, I seen some homies of mine that I knew from juvenile, Baby Joe and Lucky and Flacco, and yeah, I seen them. I knew them from a juvenile prison. You know what I mean? And we kicked it. We got tight. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Yo, what happened to your eye, bro?
on
If you don't
my
mind
eye,
me asking. Yeah.
Yeah, I got shot in the head two
Yeah.
times in the forehead. Right here,
Yeah.
right where that little scar is right there. There's a
Yeah.
bullet still lodged in my skull.
Oh,
It's like
you an angel and you a blessing to be here,
there's
man.
another scar
You
right
was
there, and a shot right there,
straight deaf.
and
Damn.
a chunk of glass from the windshield of the car went into my eye, and that's how I lost my eye.
What'd you get hit with?
9 millimeter.
Damn.
Yeah,
Was that after or before you went to prison?
that was before I went to prison. I was just a kid. I was 17 and a half years old.
So 17 and a half years old, you get shot in the head twice. You escape death, but you go to prison. You do 27 years in prison.
28,
28.
actually. I did the math and I was like, wait a minute, it's 28. Yeah,
Did you ever go through any shakedowns while you were locked up?
almost definitely, man. They did those once every 3 months. And then
What were the shakedowns like?
everybody got to lock down and they just come in deep. Bunch of COs come in and stand you up in your living quarters and strip you out. They strip you out butt ass naked. They have you do the whole cough and squat thing and all that and they come in, they search your living quarters, they search everything. Make sure you ain't got shanks, drugs, all that shit. Yeah, they used to
Did you ever
do
get
those all the time.
you ever have any prison fights, or can you talk about any prison fights that you've seen?
Yeah, I was in some prison fights. I guess yeah, this one fight I got into it with this dude named Jorge. Uh, uh, he was a big cat too, like me. He was a little bit bigger than me, but we were about the same size. We threw blows and shit over some bullshit. Another homie trying to tell him that I did just another homie was like running back and forth, spreading bullshit between me and this dude, Jorge and shit, and we ended up getting into it, and we threw blows pretty heavily. We beat the shit out of each other basically. We were both all bloodied up, and it was a pretty even match. That was a, I say that was a good fight between me and this cat. Yeah.
You ever been in any race riots?
Oh yeah, most definitely. When I first hit the yard, when I first went down in '95, we had a riot against the blacks, and all the Raza had a riot against the blacks, and of course the Emmett was heading that up. You know what I mean? And it was all over a piece of cake, G. All because one of the homies got a big piece of cake, and this Negro didn't get a big piece of cake, and he started complaining into the kitchen, and it was one of the homies, one of the raza in the kitchen was serving the cake, and he was like, "Oh, you motherfuckers, you just being showing favoritism because he's Mexican like you, and that dude told him, fuck you. I don't have to give you a big piece of cake. You know what I mean? You get what you get. You ain't my homie. You get what comes off the tray. You know what I mean? Off the pan. That's it. And that negro got to disrespect. Oh, you fucking Mexicans and he went to talking a whole bunch of shit, disrespected us, and that was it, man. It went off. I mean, everybody stood up in the chow hall, and it didn't go off right then and there, but it happened the next later on the next day. You know what I mean?
Hey,
And
have you ever been in any prison guard standoffs?
oh yeah, yeah, 2001, was it 2001, 2000, yeah, 2001. Uh, a unit called Buckley Unit. Uh, Me and a bunch of the Raza and a bunch of white boys stood up against the COs and shit, and we rioted against the COs. And it was me and this white boy that was heading the whole fucking thing. And it was only me that got in trouble. I'm the only one that got snatched out of the crowd and taken to the hole and shit. You know what I mean? But I was gonna kidnap the warden and all kind of crazy shit was gonna happen.
Yo, what's the coolest contraband you ever had, and can you name some of the contraband that you came across while locked up?
Uh, I had a cell phone, of course, before. You know, that was a big plus in there. But it was suck because you had to get the smallest cell phone you could because you never know. You had to stick that motherfucker right up your ass. That's where motherfuckers hide shit. You know what I mean? And as a motherfucker, I didn't put it up mine. I had somebody else hold it for me. Fuck that and ripping up my asshole for fucking a phone. You know what I mean? But yeah, knives. We had like real knives and shit in there. You know what I mean? As far as contraband goes, you know. But
Where they make the knives?
well, we had some real ones in there from the streets. You know what I mean?
Oh, you
But when we
make
make
some
them,
knives.
like,
Y'all have real
huh?
pocket blade. Y'all have real pocket knives.
Yeah, we have real blades and shit in there.
Damn,
Uh,
machetes and shit.
the what?
Machetes.
Nah, we couldn't handle damn machete. That's too much. That's too obvious right there.
Yeah. Oh, you had
We
little shit
have
you could hide, huh?
yeah, knives like 7, 8 inches, 9 inches. You know what I mean? Big and shit. You know, with 10 inch, 11 inch blades. But we see screwdrivers in there too. File them down. Fucking screwdrivers. You name it, man.
Them,
Actual ice picks.
them cell phones. How would you get them in there?
Oh man, that's a CO's bringing us that, man.
COs
For
will
real.
break, man.
Yeah. CO's bringing us in. I ain't gonna say no names or anything, but yeah, that's the
Yeah, don't say no
CO's.
names. Don't say no names.
You know that.
Hey, so
You know that, G.
hey, so the 28 years you've been down, that gives you enough time to form relationships with the guards. Did you? And can you speak about any of those relationships you had with the guards and how close you got with them?
Um, I had sexual relations with 3 different COs, women COs, but I'm not gonna say their names. But it was with 3 different COs, 2 white girls and a Mexican girl. Not all at the same time, but like through course of years, and
Yeah.
and it was pretty tight, man. It was pretty tight. Yeah, one of them was a freak, man. And one of the white girls was a freak, boy. She used to come through with doing some crazy shit. Yeah, but it was all right, man. It was all right. Definitely kept me entertained, and it was definitely a plus being a locked up convict who couldn't be with a woman regularly on a regular basis. So when I did have a chance to be with these different women, it was definitely something I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
were you clicked up with anybody, and did you have any allies, and did you have any rivals? And if so, who were your allies and who were your rivals?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I was clicked up. I was clicked up with man. Yeah, I was actually. I think we covered this in the first interview, but I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I was a made man, and I guess you would say I still am a made man because they ain't killed me. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, man. You know, I walked away. You know, but my allies was the native clique. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say their name, and and the white boys clique. Everybody knows the names of those cliques. We were allies with them. We were always against the blacks. We didn't roll with the blacks. You know what I mean? With their thing or whatever. No offense to black people. I'm just saying. That's how it was in prison. You know what I mean? You know.
Yo,
Yeah.
what's some of the craziest things you ever seen in prison?
Oh man. In that riot, I didn't actually see it, but we heard about what happened in that riot against the blacks in '95. uh, a dude got his head almost cut off. He almost got decapitated by a shovel,
Damn.
and that was the worst thing that happened in that riot. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was definitely a trip. But one of the worst things I've seen, I seen a guy commit suicide right in front of me. That was pretty traumatic. I mean, he seemed like he was all right. You know, one minute he was talking to me and shooting it, shooting the shit with me. Next thing you know, he's hanging himself. You know what I mean? And you
I
know,
seen some shit like that too, man.
yeah, it was
Segregation.
fucked up.
Hey, have you
Yeah.
ever did any seg time?
Oh hell yeah, years of
Years?
time.
How would you handle your seg time being by yourself? Like, what would like? Can you give anyone any advice how to maintain their mental while doing years in seg?
What helped me, what helped me, like the last particular time I did years in segregation was for staff assault. I beat up an officer, and they locked me down for 3 years for that. I mean, they put me in segregation for 3 years for that, and I talk to God all the time. You know what I mean, I basically, talk to Him and about everything and anything. You know what I mean, because I couldn't, I didn't have the chance to talk to anybody physically in front of me and be able to look them in the eye and this and that. So, I talk to God, you know what I mean? And he's my go-to, and which, by the way, that's why I walked away from the M. It was for God, was to be right with the Lord, you know what I mean? That's why I walked away, you know. It just, and that organization was getting too crazy, man, you know.
Hey, would you say is just because you left it, because you left, because you walked away to get your life right, to be a part of God, to be one with God now? Is that considered a violation, or did they respect that? I know some cliques respect that, but they just don't
You
want you to
know,
say
it,
anything about
it's
that.
considered it's considered. Go ahead. You didn't finish? Did you finish?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
It's considered a violation, but some of the brothers accepted why I walked away and said that I did it for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did. And yeah, like one of my brothers, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna say his name though, but he 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 really respected why I walked away, and he told the other brothers, hey man, we should just let Jaguar go, man. Just let him go. You know what I mean? Let him live his life. He walked away for the right reasons. You know what I mean? A couple of the brothers were on that trip, on that tip. You know what I mean? So that's what it was, man. And I don't regret walking away at all, man. I really don't. You know what I mean? It's the best thing I did in my life. You know what I mean? Because there's only two ends to that. I mean, either you're gonna end up dead one day or in prison for life. You know what I
Yo,
mean? And I couldn't do it.
yeah, I know. That's facts. Not to cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying I couldn't deal with either one of those. You know what I mean?
Yo, can you give okay, let's say someone that never been to prison before, right? Like let's say I know how it goes, but let's just say me, right? Let's say me. Let's pretend I never been to prison. I don't know how it goes. So I walk into prison and let's say one of my friends is there and one of my friends is Asian. Now will we be able to hang out with each other?
He's an Asian.
Because he's Asian
Yeah, like
and
over
let's
here, like
I'm Hispanic and white.
here in this state, like the Asians usually run with the whites. You know what I mean? And the raza is usually tight with the whites because the drug business is usually really tight between the raza and the white boys. You know what I mean? You know, so there's really not going to be a problem there. You know what I mean? he was black or something, you know what I mean, then it'd be a problem. You know? That's the thing. Like in prison, there's a lot of there's a lot of hatred towards the blacks. You know what I mean? I don't hate blacks. You know what I mean? I never really have. I mean, I got family that are black. You know what I mean? As far as my in-laws and shit, my nephews and but in prison, being in there, being Mexican, you know, you couldn't be sitting with the blacks. You couldn't like. I did. I went over there like when I wanted to go talk to one of the blacks and we needed to talk business or whatever. I'd go to his table in on the yard or in the chow hall or whatever, and I'd sit right there. I mean, nobody gonna tell me shit. You know what I mean? That's just the way it was for me. You know what I mean? Other people couldn't do that shit. Not even other people of my stature, as far as my rank. You know what I mean? Other people couldn't do that shit. I did. I fucking tested the limits. You know what I mean? I was like, well, I'm gonna do this, and anybody got anything to say, well, then we'll just deal with it. And nobody would say shit, but. Yeah, you'd be able to rap to him, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be a problem, you know?
Now, before we go, my last question is one for the youth. Is there anything that you can tell the youth, to the younger generation that's 18, 19, 20 years old with a gun and claiming some? Can you tell them anything? Like, can you give them any advice? Or
Yeah, for sure, man. Certainly, best thing I could say is I was once young and running around claiming the neighborhood and stuff, and, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool, love your neighborhood, you know, represent it, but don't go around tripping on other people trying to impose your neighborhood's colors and ethics or whatever. Don't try to impose upon other people's neighborhoods and other homies from their different hoods your propaganda. You know what I mean? And start shit with them. Shooting. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like me, on the real, no bullshit. While all my homies were running around set tripping and shit, shootings and all. I got into some shootings. You know what I mean? For personal shit that happened. You know what I mean? But I didn't run around set tripping. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? I respected other people's neighborhoods. You know what I mean? While representing my own, I respected other people's neighborhoods. Oh, wait, are you from such and such? Oh, man, much love, man, much respect. That's how I was. You know what I mean? I respected. I didn't start shit. Oh, this is such and such. What's up? And let's get it in. And I didn't start shit like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't have a lot of problems. You know what I mean? On the streets, I earned a lot of clout by being able to go in any different neighborhood I wanted to and be welcome there. You know what I mean? I had a lot of clout. You know what I mean? Don't do shit like that. You know what I mean? That's why I would tell you, don't do that. What my homies did, running around shooting, the gangbanging shit. Don't do that shit. It's not worth it. You can get yourself killed, get yourself in prison, fucking drive-bys and shit like that. I don't know if that shit's happening still, the drive-bys, but I can imagine it is. You know what I mean? And you know, don't go to prison, man. Don't do it. Change your life before it's too late, man. Because get some counseling. You know what I mean? Go to school, get a job. You know what I mean? Go to therapy. And stuff like that. Psychological therapy. You know what I mean? For the emotional problems that kids got today. You know what I mean? That's what they should do. You know what I mean? That's what I needed to do when I was a kid, but I didn't do that. You know what I mean? I resorted to running the streets and using drugs and shit. And that's what they should do, man. You know what I mean? That before it's too late. I did all that time. You know what I mean? 28 years. And it wasn't worth it. None of it was worth it. Not any of the power, any of the fame, none of that shit was worth it at all. None of it. I mean, all this being a legend and all this shit. People, I mean, just before I got out, there was people, I meet people, oh, you're a Jaguar? oh man, I heard about you, man. Yeah, man, I heard a lot of stories about you, man. You're a legend and this and that, you know. And I don't need that. I mean, like, yeah, that's cool. You know what I mean? Right on. Thanks a lot. Much respects. You know what I mean? Right on for the respects and everything. The good looking, you know. But I don't need that. I need to be out. I mean, that's what I need. I need to get to be out of prison. You know what I mean? And, and none of those kids that are out there in the streets trying to look for that, you know, these different cliques that are in prison nowadays, they don't need none of that shit, man. It's garbage, man. You know, and that ain't no disrespect to the people, but it is what it is. All that gang shit is garbage, man. It really is. You know, it's really garbage. So that's all I can say, man.
All right, I'd like to thank you, Jaguar, for being on the show today.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Maybe we could do a follow up interview, man, a few months from now.
Yeah, maybe we could, you know. Maybe we
All right, it's nice
could.
talking to you, bro.
All right, my brother.
Yeah, thank you for the advice, and it was nice hearing the stories,
Yeah, no
Chris's stories, bro.
problem.
All right,
No problem, brother.
thank you for your time, bro.
All right, my brother.
Yo.